Hey everyone, I am making full float nails for this set. And I got the idea because my twins are turning 4 at the end of this month. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to do to go with a birthday theme. I was trying to figure out a birthday theme, period. For my 6-year-old back in May, we did bugs and I did bug nails. And so I was just kind of racking my brain trying to figure out, okay, well, what am I going to do this time? And my 6-year-old and my twins were like, what are you going to do on your nails, for a birthday? And I'm like, I don't know. And, they're boy and girl. And, the girl, she absolutely loves princess, Disney princess, everything. And the boy, he doesn't. Go figure. He likes dinosaurs and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to do princess and dinosaurs? Like, would I combine the two, or would one hand be princess and the other hand be dinosaurs? And then I was thinking, of course, their birthday's at the end of July and it's super, super hot everywhere. And we live in the South. So again, crazy, crazy hot. And the only relief really is swimming in the pool. And of course, we're doing pool party for them. So I got the idea, oh my gosh, it just dawned on me, pool floats. So we're making 3D pool floats and they're glow in the dark. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say this now. I did not include pictures of them glow in the dark because the whole reason why is there's not enough definition, and you'll see. I mean, they look like pool floats, but like in the Lisa Frank nails, for example, there was a lot of definition to it. And you could really, you could even still see the leopard's face glowing in the dark. In this case of the pool float nails, because they're, like how pool floats are, they're blown up. They're, I don't know, what would be the good word for it? Like bulbous, I guess? I don't know. But you kind of get what I'm trying to say. So it just kind of looks like that in the dark, and it just wasn't very defined. So, I mean, yeah, they glow in the dark, but you can't really tell what they are. So, yeah, with all that rambling and everything, the point is that I just didn't include it because you couldn't really tell what each thing was. So, anyways, so while I'm at it, let's talk about book talk. So, I finished picking daisies on Sundays. As you know, in the last video I did, which was the press-ons for my friend, I had finished Brimstone and I finished, oh gosh, what was it? My guide dog is a wolf shifter or something like that. And, after Brimstone, I was looking for something that was light and fluffy. And I was hoping I would get that from a book titled My Guide Dog is a Wolf Shifter. You would think that would be light and fluffy, but it wasn't. So I was like, gosh, okay, I don't really know what to get that's light and fluffy. And I looked through my, to be read list on Amazon, and all the books I had saved for reading next, none of them were really fitting that requirement for me at the time. And I just happened to watch Darling Desi's latest YouTube video, and she was looking for the same thing as me. She was wanting late 90s, early 2000s rom-com kind of feeling book that she had never read before, and she asked her viewers to give her some recommendations, and she hadn't read that one before, and she gave the review, and I was like, okay, that's exactly what I'm looking for right now in the book. And I have to say, it delivered. It was kind of slow to get into, mostly because the writing style was just it wasn't bad by any means. It was good, but it was just a little bit different than what I have been reading lately. So it took a little bit to kind of get in the groove of that type of style. And also, for those who have read the book, you'll understand what I'm saying. For those who have not read the book and plan on reading the book, you'll also get it after the first few chapters. The chapter titles didn't make any sense, and it kept throwing me off because I always pay attention to the chapter titles, and you think that they would have some kind of meaning for said chapter, and they didn't. And it just kept me, and like as I kept going on through the chapters, I was just kind of like, okay, what is the deal with these chapter titles? And so it kind of took me out of the story and kept me focused on that, because I'm like, am I missing something here? And then and I will say this for those who have not read it yet and plan on reading it, it will make sense. There is a reason for them, and it will make complete sense at the end of the book. And finally, when I got to the end of the book and realized, oh, okay, it makes sense now. Okay. So, anyways, but it's like, it does have that feel of late 90s, early 2000 rom-com, takes place in New York. They were best friends in high school, and after basically a misunderstanding in senior year, they just kind of went separate ways for 4 years as they attended two different colleges, and then they just happened to run into each other at a bar, and he was kind of in a predicament with an ex of his who was also at said bar, and he was trying to get a job, and his ex was the daughter of I don't remember, like, if she was basically the person that would end up being his boss. And so he was trying to, like, kind of gain favor, but he also didn't want to be involved with his ex. So he asked her to pretend that they were together. And also, his sister was getting married at the same time. So basically, previous best friends that fell out and lost touch with each other for 4 years end up running into each other and begin fake dating kind of thing. And so it was kind of, even though they weren't rekindling a romance, but they were rekindling a friendship, which obviously, I mean, not really a spoiler alert, ends up being a romance. Go figure. But it was really good. It was exactly what I was looking for during that time, because I just, Brimstone it's long and kind of, there's a lot and kind of heavy. And when I didn't get that in the Guide Dog is a Wolf Shifter book, oh my gosh, I really need this. I need something light and fluffy to read. I'm just so glad that I just happened upon Darling Desi's episode and that she had recommended it, and I'm so glad I immediately added it to my Kindle, and I'm really glad I did. And if you're in that mood and you're looking to fill that void, I highly recommend picking it up and giving it a chance. In fact, I like it so much, it's inspiring my next set of nails that's after this one. So look forward to that. Anyways, but let's talk about these nails. So obviously right now I am working on a watermelon full float. And I will say this. So you saw me do the method that I did using the 3D gel and doing it in a line and then combining it when on the nail and having to smooth it out and stuff. You will see, not in the next nail that I work on, but in the nail after, I figured out a better method. So don't do that. Don't just look at that one and be like, oh, okay, that's how I need to do these floats. If if you're inspired and try to recreate the set or whatever, or do full floats of any sort. But yeah, just wait until I work on, I believe it's the crab, and do that method. Basically, you do a ball with the 3D sculpting gel, and you place it on the nail and then take your silicone, the pointy end of your silicone tool, and just shape it into a donut essentially from there. It's way easier. There's no having to smooth out the connecting ends or anything like that. I don't know why it took me 2 nails to figure that out, but yeah. Learn from my idiocy, basically, and do it the easy way. But anyways, right now I am doing the classic donut, actual donut full float. And I decided to try to because my kids, all of them, when they saw the watermelon one, they were like, oh, a donut. And I'm like, no, it's a watermelon full float. They're like, yeah, donut, that's sprinkles. I'm like, no, those are the watermelon seeds. And so I was like, okay, I'm going on for the donut one to kind of distinguish it a little more. I'm going to do a little bite out of the donut, even though I'm not sure I've ever seen like an actual donut full float with a bite out of it. In fact, my 6-year-old has a donut full float, and it doesn't have, it's like, it's whole. It doesn't have a bite out of it. So I don't know, but you get my point. That's the reason why I did it, in case you're wondering. But it's just to kind of help distinguish it from no, I don't have 2 donut full floats. I have 1 donut, and the other one is actually a watermelon, people. Okay, and so right now I am going over with a second coat of the pink gel polish. And actually, this is what I do for all of these full float nails is I'm using the glow in the dark gel polish, and I use them on the Lisa Frank inspired nails. And I'm pretty sure I talked about in that video about how they're more of a jelly color consistency. They're not very opaque. So I wanted to be sure that they come out very, very vivid and bright on the colors, and also wanted to make sure that they glow in the dark really well. So I went in and had to pretty much do 2 coats for all of the nails to get it, a good consistency, basically. I don't know if any of you have used another brand of glow in the dark gel polish, and they're a lot thicker and more opaque on their colors. Let me know. I would say that's probably the main reason why I don't use this set of gel polish all that much is because of that, because you're having to go in and do multiple coats with them, and it's kind of annoying. They glow in the dark, very pretty, but there's just I prefer the gel polishes that are one and done, with nail art. Makes it a lot easier and less time consuming, of course. But here's the donut nail. It's really, really cute. And here I am again several weeks later. I kind of had to take a little bit of break. My kids' summer break had begun, and it just was kind of chaotic there for a couple of weeks, I will say. And we also started cleaning our garage out at this point, and cleaned up our landscaping and all of that stuff. So it was mostly really, really busy. And during that several weeks break from this nail set, I got thinking when I got them back out to work on them again, I was looking at the ones that don't have a pull float, like this one right here. And I was thinking that they were kind of missing a little bit of something. And I made up my mind to do the 3D kind of waves that you get in the pool, when you're moving, obviously. And so I used the McCart 3D, is it 3D just sculpting gel? I don't know. I'll look and I'll put it on the screen. But anyway, so I just kind of use that. It's the same stuff that I used on my bug nails to create the raindrops, and just created little swirls on them. And I ended up doing that on all of the full float nails as well. After I was done with them, I just added that to it. But earlier in this video, you heard me talk about the new technique. This is what I'm doing right now. Sorry, my fat fingers kind of get in the way of showing that, but as you can deduce, the pointy end of the tool is being used to create that circle after the ball is formed and put on the nail. And as you can see, it is so much easier than the way I did it the first two times. I'm just going in and just kind of smoothing it out a little bit with my fingers, and then using the wedge end of the silicone tool and just making sure it gets a little more even and shaped out. And right now I am working on the crab full float. And I thought this little guy turned out so cute. My only issue is the top coat. Maybe I'm a little too heavy-handed with top coat. Obviously, I want it to be top coated because that's going to help protect the polish even more and stuff from wear and tear. But the top coat kind of just smooths stuff out a little too much, and so you can't tell details all that well from afar. Like up close, when I can bring my fingers to my face, I can see the details that way. But showing them off to people, or like even in this video, you can't really, the top coat kind of diminishes details. So I need to find a different method for that, for top coating. Maybe just have to use a liner brush and very, very thinly apply it or something from now on. I'm not really sure, but anyways, what I'm doing is I'm adding his back legs. I guess that's what they would be for the crab. And also, I know I don't show the whole curing process, but for each part that I add to the shape of these pull floats, like each little segment that I add, I cure. And it depends on if it's going to be connected, like layered or not. So like, for example, for these little legs, I'm going in and there's three little legs on each side. So 6 little bitty back legs total. And I'm going in on each one of those little legs, and I do basically like a flash cure in my big lamp. So 10 seconds. And then I add another one, another leg, another 10-second flash cure. And then at the end of all the legs, I do a full 1-minute cure. And, but like if I was doing it in layers, like if I was, say, I don't know, like maybe doing like, say, let's think of like pancakes. Okay. So if I was doing pancakes, you're going to do a layer on top of another layer on top of another layer. I wouldn't flash cure each layer. I would do a full cure for each layer, because you want to make sure your gel product is getting fully cured, right? So the legs, they're not layered. They're kind of separate from each other. So you don't have to worry about not curing in between layers then. Make sense? Okay, on this part, remember from the bug nails video, I think it was the caterpillar ones in the YouTube shorts, where I talked about finally figuring out gravity is my friend? Well, that's why I am turning the crab upside down when applying his little eyes on top of his body, is because it's true. Gravity really is your friend. If you ever work with 3D sculpting gel and you're having to do something that's going to be, small and sticking out from your main sculpture, basically, do learn from me and turn your work upside down. It's going to help so much. And right now I'm going in with the red glow in the dark gel paint from this set. And again, I'm going to do 2 coats for this guy. And I will say, and I've seen this from like other red glow in the dark from other brands. I don't know what it is, but red, I noticed, does not glow in the dark as long as a lot of other colors do. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with something like, maybe it's the color or something. I'm not really sure. Like the blue, for example, of the main color on these nails they glow in the dark forever. I mean, I have woken up in the middle of the night from them still glowing in the dark, basically. So, and they glow super bright, and just the glow power just really is long lasting with them. It is a different brand. The main color, the blue, is from Revel, but Revel also has a red glow in the dark color. I think it's for Christmas. I think it's called Rudolph. I'm pretty sure it's Rudolph. And it doesn't glow in the dark very long either. And it's a weak glow. So I don't know, maybe it has something to do with just reds in general for glow in the dark. I guess it's just not a very good color. But just so you know, unless you guys are aware of a brand with a better red that glows, that would be, and you could, recommend it to me, that'd be awesome. Because for Halloween, I dreamed about this last year, and I'm dreaming about it again this year. I really want to do Bram Stoker Dracula's inspired nail set for Halloween. And last year I got started on it, but I don't think my skill set was quite there yet for what I was wanting to achieve. And honestly, I am such a self-doubter, but I don't know that my skill set is there yet now even, but I'm going to give it a go. Again, I'm going to try. Can't promise that it's going to be successful and that I'll post it or anything, but I'm going to try. But for that set, I would love to find like a really good glow in the dark red for it. Because, I mean, what better time than to have glow in the dark nails, than summer, of course, and then Halloween. It's a no-brainer, right? Okay, right now I'm just using the pointy, very tip of my liner brush and using a black gel polish and just basically kind of applying it like you would with a dotting tool. I just didn't feel like getting my dotting tool out at that time. And I'm just painting in the crab's little bitty eyes, little eyeballs, and then I'm top coating. And I just think the little crab, he turned out so cute. Oh, he's so cute. But again, I just wish that the top coat didn't cover some of the details, that just, like with the legs and the claws especially. But yeah, next time I do like a 3D set like this, I'm gonna try to just use my liner brush to do top coat. And right here I'm applying the 3D waves or ripples. I guess it's ripples in the pool water on the nail. Okay, this right here is the unicorn pool float nail that I'm working on right now. And I'm just going to say this is probably my favorite nail I think I've ever done. I just love this one so much. It makes me smile every time I look at it. And oh, I love it. Just, I can't wait till it gets done and you guys see it. But anyways, so remember what I said about the whole layering stuff. And so I did a full cure on the main body, the brown full float, full cure. Then I did the neck second, did a full cure. Now I am smoothing out the gel to make a smooth transition from his head to neck. That way it's like you don't see like that it was done in segments, right? And I'm just using a cleanup brush and rubbing alcohol to help smooth that out. Do full cure. Right now I'm applying his ears and just kind of using my silicone tool. I know because it's white, it's so hard to pick up the details on camera, but I'm kind of like using the pointed end of the silicone tool and kind of shaping the ears on the unicorn. I know you can't really see it, but did a full cure on that. And now I know you're thinking, girl, it's already white. Why are you going over it with white? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's glow in the dark. And the 3D sculpting gel is not glow in the dark. So I'm going over it right now with white glow in the dark gel polish. And also, I did 2 full coats of that gel polish. It also helps solidify and harden the sculpture, the gel, the sculpting gel, blah, blah, blah. And just, makes it a lot more stable, I guess. I don't know. You know, I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't look like I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Anyways, I am forming the unicorn's horn now. And again, every once in a while you'll see me, I turn it upside down, to help gravity, or gravity to help me get it, formed and in place, and put it in between his ears actually. And now that I think about it, their horns aren't really right in between the ears, are they? They're like further down, aren't they? Maybe I should have done that. Not that unicorns exist, but, still. Well, whatever. It still turns out cute. Anyways, I colored it yellow, and now I am going to go in and do the horse's mane. And so I'm doing the front part first, basically giving him bangs. And then after I do the bangs, then I go in down his neck to add the rest of his mane. And so I've seen like some unicorns. Like I think the unicorn float that I saw like one year, like in Scenes Club or something like that. I think his mane was like pink, but I already did pink basically for the watermelon and the donut. So I was thinking, okay, I don't want to do pink again. That's a lot of pink. And then I'm doing a flamingo after this one, and that's going to be pink too, obviously. So there's just a lot of pink going on in this set. So I decided to do his hair purple instead of pink. And I like that decision. I think it ended up coming out really, really well. I'm glad I decided on purple, really. But then after I got this done, I think it was like maybe unicorn cake or something, and the hair was rainbow color. And then I got thinking, shoot, maybe I should have done rainbow color instead of just one solid color. But you know what? Oh well, I still love this now, and it turned out so cute. Oh, it's just one of my favorites. It really is. Okay, so right now I am using the black to, and the very tip of my liner brush to dot on the eyes for the unicorn. And this is one of my favorite blacks. It's from Revel. It's called Barbara. And in my head, I call it the Babs, like Barbra Streisand, because it can be a bit of a diva, but actually their gel version of the color is easier to work with than their dip color, or dip version of the color anyways. So the gel is a little bit less of a diva. And anyway, so I'm applying the ripple effect after I top coated it first, and I top coated the whole thing, the nail and the unicorn, and just going in with that 3D gel glue sculpting gel. I'll put it on the screen what it's called. But anyways, yeah, I'm just going in with the ripple effect, and y'all, here it is. And oh, the unicorn in all its glory. I love it. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what we are working on next. So this is going to be the flamingo nail, and I actually took a little bit of a break after I finished the unicorn because I was a little bit hesitant to work on the flamingo one. I don't know why. I don't know why I was a little bit hesitant. I don't know. It just made me nervous for some reason. I guess because I ended up loving the unicorn one so much, and I was kind of feeling, I don't know, what do you call it? Well, self-doubting, of course. Just kind of feeling like, okay, how am I going to be able to top that off? Or not necessarily like top that one, but just make it look as good. And I will say the flamingo ended up having a good and bad side. I think anyways. And I know I'm bringing up Barbra Streisand again, but you know how she only ever gets photographed from one side because she thinks the other side of her face is the bad side. And it's kind of like the flamingo is, I guess, the flamingo is a bit of a diva, like Barbara Streisand. It needs to be photographed on the good side instead of the bad side. Okay, as you can see, I ended up painting the entire flamingo the solid pink first, just because I thought it was going to be easier to just paint the whole thing instead of kind of separating it into the different colors, the segments. And now I just combine that same pink color that I painted it with a little bit of the white to lighten it up a little bit, and to go in and start on the flamingos. I guess that part is part of his beak, and the whole thing's not going to be that color. I'm going to end up going and using the black to finish the beak part of the flamingo. Okay, and I also want to note on here that when I put this in the lamp to cure it, I don't just cure it face up, basically. Like, I turn it all the directions because, as you can see, it's 3D, it's sticking up, and I want to make sure the whole thing gets cured. So I will stick it in, standing up, cure it for the 60 seconds, and then I will turn it upside down and cure it another 60 seconds because I want to make sure, like, for example, with the flamingo, I want to make sure his neck and under his beak get cured as well. Okay, the one I'm working on now is the pineapple pool float nail, and I kind of I went on Pinterest and looked up pictures of different pool floats, and I was kind of struggling to come up with another one at this point. And I asked the advice of my oldest son, what should I go with? And he suggested like other um, big ones like the unicorn and flamingo are. And I was like, well, I've got those two, but I want to kind of match up more with the donut or the crab, one that's not going to stick out like the flamingo and the unicorn do. So we were looking at pictures of pool floats together, and we decided on the pineapple pool float. So this is the last pool float now, and it's not my favorite one, I'll be honest. And I don't dislike it. It turned out cute, but I just, with the gel, the glow in the dark gel, I just kind of wish that the details on the pineapple, like it's, what do they call them? Is it the eyes? Is that what you call those little, spiny ridges things on the fruit? Are those called eyes? I think they are, but they just didn't turn out as defined as I was kind of hoping they would. But anyways, you can see them in person, but not so much on video. Anyways, but it's still cute though. And I'm just going in with that 3D gel again and creating the ripple effect on the flamingo and then the pineapple nails, and after top coating both of those. And I know that it's kind of broken up. Usually I show each one individually being top coated and finished first, but I ended up just kind of waiting and doing them together at this point. So anyways, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Which one ended up being your favorite pool float? No, it hands down for me, it's the unicorn one. This is the flamingo, and it's still cute. It's just its head's kind of a little to the side, a little bit on one, So that's the bad side. But and this is them in the pool because obviously I had to get a video of them in the pool. And they just turned out so cute. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Tell me guys what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching.